What are some guy secrets girls don't know about? Story 1. Men can frequently spend hours together and not talk about anything significant. If your husband, boyfriend, went out to play golf with his buddies and you ask him afterwards, "What did you talk about?" he's probably not lying if he says nothing. He didn't go golfing to gossip, he went golfing to play golf. Story 2. You know the meme with the couple facing opposite sides? Yeah, well, it's accurate as hell, 99% of the time. When you think we're having some thoughts about really deep issues or cheating on you, we're just thinking about random shit like, do bald guys shampoo their heads? Or just use regular soap, so stop worrying. Story 3. We can come home from a long day at work and be perfectly happy sitting quietly not speaking a word at home watching TV or eating dinner with you. We're not mad or upset at you, that is just the way we are. I call that screensaver mode. My husband's a little bit introverted, and his job unfortunately has him talking to people the whole day, so when he comes home, I greet him and then I leave him alone until he starts to bug me. Story 4. We are suckers for compliments. Most attractive women receive compliments on a regular basis, even if they don't want it. Most men never get complimented on their looks or style. This makes it so much more precious when it happens, and it means a whole lot. Story 5. Guys don't like the chase. That doesn't mean you need to be easy. But girls who play hard to get and will blow a guy off and ignore him and shit because guys love the challenge. All you're doing is probably pissing him off and making him less interested. Happened to me some years ago. Friend's friend was quite interested in me, but showed no interest on the surface. We'll call my friend Stacy and her friend Ashley. Stacy said Ashley thinks you're attractive, while other friends said nah. She said she wanted to F the shit out of you. I played the game for a bit, waited for her to show any interest. Hugs from her would be that ass out, one-armed, side hug thing. Anytime our friends would try to leave us alone, Ashley would follow Stacy like a lost puppy and I'd end up hanging out with Stacy's boyfriend. He was cool people. I ended up saying F it. When another girl showed legitimate interest, Ashley went crazy that I got with another girl. Blocked me on Facebook, started slamming me left and right. All because she seemingly wouldn't give me the time of day. I still don't understand. Story 6. When you ask us to do something difficult for you, open a jar, fix a thing, move something heavy, drive a long distance, etc., and we seem to struggle, don't stop us. At that point we have to get it done. Let us slay the dragon for you and for us. Closing parenthesis. The exception is finding stuff. You lost your phone. You'll most likely find it. I have no idea where it is, and I'd rather be fixing a thing. Story 7. If we randomly surprise you with flowers or some gift for no reason, it doesn't mean there is an ulterior motive or that we are trying to get forgiveness for something. So when you make a big deal and try to roast us with questioning, or say things like, "Wow, why can't you be more like this more often?" all you are doing is sending the signal to the man's brain, do not do the thing again. That brings her suspicion on you. Besides, we know if it becomes expected, then it becomes a chore and we are treated as some sort of failure when we don't do it. Story 8. There usually isn't a meaning behind how we act. Take it at face value for what it is. Drives me insane that my wife and her friend overanalyze every little comment or text about the guys her friend dates. My GF likes to remind me that I left before she woke up the morning after we slept together for the first time. After she got up, she invited her friends over and they spent brunch analyzing my intentions, and it was decided I was just in it for banging and would not be calling her again. That was 4 years ago. Truth is, I was awake for about 20 minutes and she was sleeping soundly. I got bored and didn't want to wake her up, so I made a quiet exit. Story 9. If you ask a guy what he was thinking about and he says, oh, nothing, he might have been thinking about something like this. Do dogs like the smell of farts? I mean, they like the smell of lots of really awful smells, like dead things and actual shit. In fact, they eat dead things. Well, and shit, sometimes. Maybe farts smell like delicious steak to dogs. Or maybe just their own. Wait, steak does smell really good, but is there, like, A vegetable equivalent. Do vegetarians ever smell a thing and find their mouths watering? Like a certain kind of salad dressing? Or veggie omelets or something? Well, lots of vegetarians don't eat eggs, I guess. Especially vegans. That's kind of the point, I guess. What if someone eats cheese but not eggs? Is there a word for that? Not vegan, obviously, but like semi-vegan? Half-vegan? I seem to remember reading something about like ovu something vegetarians. It's probably a really complicated phrase that no one bothers with, because it's longer than vegan. I guess if it were more popular, though, people would make up a word for it. Like, there was a time when vegans weren't called vegan, I'll bet. I wonder if dogs could be vegan. I mean, they wouldn't be happy about it, I'll bet. But they eat all sorts of things. Maybe they could get away with not eating meat. They like bones, though. Is there a vegetarian equivalent of bones? Corn cobs, maybe? It'd be funny to see a vegan dog munching away at a used-up corn cob, and then said guy will laugh a bit to himself for no reason. And you'll ask what he was thinking about, and he'll say, oh, nothing. And then you'll wonder why he won't tell you. Story 10. You wake up in the morning. You roll out of bed and fumble your way to the kitchen to pour yourself some cereal or make coffee. But you're out of milk. You throw on whatever clothes you have to, in order to not break the law or freeze to death. Then you stumble down the road and into the nearest shop for milk. Then you return home and eat your cereal. At no point do you give a single shit about what you look like, or what people think about what you look like, because if they actually care, they're an asshole. And you don't have to care about them. And that's the secret to male confidence. Story 11. We rarely discuss our lives with other men. The most we are likely to say is, yeah, we banged if it's a one-time thing. And nothing if we are in a relationship. Never go into detail. It's doing each other a favor because we know the other person doesn't want to hear that shit. Story 12. If a guy goes out with other guys, chances are when he says they talked about nothing, they actually did talk about nothing interesting. No gossip, no how's the family. It just tends to be talking about some sort of shared interest or hobby and a lot of banter. And when you ask him, I can almost guarantee that he remembers almost none of the content of the 5-hour conversation they've been having. Story 13. That we have probably fantasized about everybody in your group of friends, assuming they're not despicable looking. Despicable being a very loose term, basically, meaning don't be super fat. My girlfriend was surprised to find out that we actually enjoy fixing things. I haven't met a single person who doesn't enjoy fixing something in a field he's an expert in. Bonus points if he knows nothing about said field, but still manages to fix it. Story 14. I think it's not often addressed that guys, just like girls, also deal with their fair share of insecurities, body dysmorphia, and pressures from society to act and look a certain way. It's just that openly talking about it and dealing with those emotions is more shameful and less accepted. Story 15. Most of the answers in this thread revolve around men are simple. Men don't gossip, or men don't care about most things, etc., and that they are just nice, straightforward creatures. While this may be true for the majority, I do hope that guys reading this thread don't put this male simplicity on a pedestal. It doesn't make you less of a man if you don't experience that blank state of mind as often as the comments suggest men do. Or if you are actually interested in your friends' lives and like the occasional light gossip. Or if you care about where to go for dinner. You can worry about stuff and have strong opinions too. Story 16. Every man on earth is your bro unless proven otherwise. I was hanging out with my friends where one of them said, I think you got taller. I then walked up to a random guy in a restaurant and said, let's ask my longtime best friend. He looked up from his phone and said, yeah man, you look taller, then looked at my friends and said, we go way back. Never met the dude in my life, never saw him again. Bless you guy in scrubs and the line at Cane's. Story 17. We see most of the hints that you girls give off, however. We choose to ignore them mainly for one of two reasons. Sometimes it's because we're not completely sure that it's a sign of interest because your hints are too damn vague, and we don't want to risk it, or sometimes we're tired of all of the immature games And we want you to be direct. If you can't be direct, then you can only blame yourself for nothing happening, or you're not interesting or attractive enough to make us want to wade through all the hint nonsense again. Or sometimes we are just not interested at all and don't want to make a big deal about it. Story 18. It took a while for my wife to figure it out. But side-by-side time is when you are engaged in an activity with someone else, but not necessarily talking to them. You bond through the shared experience of the activity, not by talking to each other. This is why so many guys reminisce about shared experiences and tell stories about things they did together. I also happen to think that side-by-side time is why guys like games so much. I game online with my good friends frequently, and we rarely get past "how are you" in terms of personal chat, but we all love it. Same goes for watching sports, playing board games, other hobbies and stuff. So if you really want to impress your husband, boyfriend, intentionally have side-by-side time with him. Pick an activity or hobby that he enjoys and just do it with him. Don't ask him if he's enjoying himself or what he's thinking. If you have to, literally just sit next to him on the couch and watch the game with him. If he's comfortable with it, quietly watch him build his computer, or ask him how it works. Keep the conversation about the activity. Avoid asking him how he's doing unless he brings it up. Literally just be there with him. Sit and be there while he cleans his gun, or just read a book in the same room he's reading in.